you take a guy that hunts the same farm and has got a boatload of turkeys on his farm, and he sets up in a blind, sets decoys out, calls to them, yelps 3 times, every 20 minutes, and they come running in and he may limit out every year, right? And he looks at a guy like me that maybe calls too much or runs a gun, or looks at you and say, you ain't doing it right. I limit out every year. I kill. But you take him out of that farm, put him in a whole different situation, or put him somewhere else, and it's a totally different, he'd be totally lost. And so I think it's not just how to hunt one particular scenario. To be a good turkey hunter, turkeys ain't going to do everything you want to do.
And that's when the woodsmanship comes in.
And the woodsmanship. And I think, somebody's asked me before, they say, do you think woodsmanship is more important than calling? I don't think one is, I think it's a 50-50 deal. I think it's good to be a good caller. I don't think woodsmanship alone is the best thing that'll guarantee you turkeys, because the turkeys may do something, you can't get around the terrain, something may not, maybe open woods, you just don't, and there's nothing you can do. So it takes calling to get them in. But if you're a good caller, you can be a great world champion caller and still be a poor turkey hunter because you don't know how to work the terrain, you don't know how to get on them, you don't know how to slip around on them when they're hung up, you don't know how to get through their back door, you don't know how to get in tight on them on a roost. And that all takes experience, and it just takes woodsmanship. But what we have today, and what I try to do on my channel, and what I try to do and help people, is I try to teach them in-depth stuff about turkey hunting, to where they just don't see 3 yelps and a cluck and this is how you tree call, this is how you mouth call, because I think we all got the basics of that down. And there is some beginner stuff on my channel, but I want to teach people like you that's been doing this 5 or 6 years, or other guys that maybe has had a little bit of success but want to have more success. I want to teach them in-depth stuff about how to work a gobbler when he's hung up, how to move on him, how to slip on him, gobbler yelping, all this stuff that, what do you do when they're henned up, how do you call the hens, how do you get them, all that stuff's important, and a lot of people don't know that. And that's why they walk away and go to the house with an empty tag, and then if you go 2 or 3 or 4 years without killing anything, you're probably going to lose interest and just give it up.
I know in Missouri there's a lot of public ground. What's your opinion for those people out there that all they got is some public ground? I don't know anything about it, so I'm going to let that for you.
I'm probably not the best guy to ask about public, because at 25 years I've killed 1 turkey off public land. But I have hunted public land with other guys and I've called turkeys on public land. Public land can be a good thing. It's just when you're hunting public land, you're dealing with pressured gobblers. You're dealing with high pressure turkeys. And now people say, well, yeah, but they're call shy on public ground, and I don't believe in this call shy myth. It's just one of the old turkey hunting myths that people have, and I personally don't think turkeys get call shy. I mean, think about it. They hear turkey sound, they hear other turkeys 365 days a year, not just in the spring or just not in the fall. They hear it every day. So if you can sound kind of realistic to where you're not going out there screeching and hollering and sounding unreal, but if you even sound halfway real, it's okay. It's not they get call shy. It's because I've heard people say, well, don't call them turkeys because they get call shy on you. They'll know that, they know that call. That's nonsense. They get human shy. And on public ground, what do you think they're seeing? They're seeing 2 guys or 1 guy or whatever walking up the road and going through there, or walking on top of ridges, and instead of walking around the shelf, they walk right on top of the ridges, be skyline. They're walking through open fields if there's any there. It's just, so they get human shy, and then it shuts them up because they get spooked. So on public land, now I know the 1 gobbler I killed on public land was kind of weird because he gobbled his head off. This has been several years ago, but he gobbled his head off. But I just happened to catch him away from everybody else. He was kind of way on back on public ground on a WMA there. He was kind of way back in the back, and I guess nobody had messed with him, nobody had bothered him, and I just happened to catch him when he was just really wanting to come, and he gobbled his head off. But I don't really like to make him gobble a lot on public land, because if he gobbles, guess what else he's calling in?
Everybody.
He calling in all the other hunters. So I don't call a lot on public land. As far as public land, I would say get you a good map of the place. Look where they got fields. I know it's a lot of the WMAs here in Missouri and other places. They plant stuff, like they have farmers come in, plant on the ground for corn or whatever. I'd find the fields they're probably not going to be hanging right around the fields during the day, or all the time because of pressure, because that's where everybody's hunting. So get kind of away from the fields and kind of look for the freshest sign. Look for sign, look for tracks, look for roosting places, look for drop-ins, look for sign. And if they don't gobble, if you go in there and they ain't gobbling, don't get discouraged, because where there's fresh sign at, the turkeys are there. They may not gobble, but they're there. And you just set up. I wouldn't recommend using decoys on public land. I don't use decoys very much anyway. I don't worry. The reason I don't hunt public land is not because there's not good public land to hunt out there. I don't worry about the turkeys being like pressured. I worry about the hunters, because I just don't trust people. I try to stay away from public land. But hey, if that's all you got, hey, it'll work.
You can make it work.
You can make it work. I mean, there are thousands of turkeys every year killed on public land, all across America. So you just got to find the sign, get away from the pressure, and just try not to overcall to them.
Well, then let's go right into decoys. I know I've watching your videos that you're not really a decoy guy.
I got one decoy. I don't even know. I should have a name for her, because it's one lone hen decoy. It's an old feather flex decoy. I
got one. I have.
It's probably. I don't even know how old it is. It's old. And it stays in my vest. Now I do carry it, because in the right situations, decoys will work. But I have seen times where I've seen times when a gobbler, especially if you got a gobbler out there, a gobbler decoy or a jake decoy, or especially a full strut decoy gobbler, I've seen times where they'll lift their heads up. You'll call this 2-year-old turkey a turkey you might want to kill, long beard. He throws his head up, looks at that gobbler, and you see on videos, TV shows, they come running in, spurting, and they do that sometimes. I'm not saying they don't, but I have seen times, and a lot of, what they don't show you on TV is all the mishaps they've had with decoys, because they got to sell that decoy. Yep. So they got to sell that, so they ain't going to tell you all the bad stuff that happens. But I've seen times where turkeys, even with a hen, will throw their head up, look at it, go the other way. Whereas if you didn't have the decoy, you could probably call him right on in. I have watched TV shows, and this is the God's truth. And if you watch them real close, and if you do editing like we do, and you do like filming like we do, and of course I had a lot of TV experience, not in hunting, but in the ministry side of my life. What's funny about it is you can watch, and these guys will set these decoys up, and they'll show the turkey coming in, and it might be a little bit early. But then they'll cut to them calling, yelping, and it's light. And it's like, well, but people don't notice that because you're watching the turkey. But a lot of that stuff's just, it's pre-played. They go back and redo it.
The turkey's already dead.
The turkey's already dead.
And they're calling.
And so they may not even yelp to the turkey. The turkey, and again, you didn't see all the bad mishaps and all the stuff that that didn't make the turkey, because they ain't going to show that. But we talked last night, we were talking about why that we don't care for TV shows. And personally, I don't really care for a lot of the quote TV shows today on the hunting channel, because so much of it's contrived and fake. It's not real. I'm not saying they don't kill turkeys, but you take, I'm going to say 60% of them guys. There's some good turkey hunters out there that's got shows, a lot of the old timers, but you take a lot of these guys that's got TV shows, stick them on public ground in Missouri or Virginia or Oklahoma, or stick them on a 60-acre piece of property like I have to hunt a lot of times, when there's only 3 or 4 gobblers in the whole place, and they're henned up. Stick them on there, and let's see what they can do. Because here's what happens: they hunt outfitters. They're not tame turkeys. I'm not saying they're tamed. I'm not saying they're pinned up, but they've already got somebody a week before scouting for them. They already know where the flocks are moving. They already know they don't have to do nothing but go set up in a blind and say, okay, we're going to set up in a house, put decoys out. Here they come, and oh boy, look what a great turkey hunter I am. That just ain't real. That's why I wanted to, on my channel, I wanted to go back to the old days, because when turkey videos and hunt videos first started in the 80s, and I can remember, I'm getting my age a little bit, but I can remember having to rent a VCR at a video store, and come in a big bag. You remember? And I remember the first turkey video I ever watched with my dad. I'm serious. I remember it's a Denny Golbus video, and I remember this was going about 84, 85. I remember watching that. And if you look at these old videos, the old Quaker Boy videos, the Denny Golbus videos, Billy McCoy, a lot of these old videos from the late 80s and early 90s, they may have usually a 120-minute video. So a 2-hour video, they had 4 or 5 kills on it. Nowadays, you got a DVD of an hour and a half, and they got 30 kills on it because they send 15 guys out in different directions, and you only get to see about 2 or 3 minutes of a whole hunt. Yeah. They're not telling you nothing. So and the old guys, the old guys used to explain to you. You know, they didn't have a lot of kills and didn't have a lot of turkeys coming in, you know, killing. But they said, here's why I set up here. Here's when you don't overcall. Here's when you get aggressive. Here's why you have to sit like this. Here's why you have to. You know, all of this stuff that I'm giving to this generation of YouTubers, that's what they did, you know, and they were teaching. And it seems like nowadays the younger generation just don't have a lot of, if they don't have the best $1,200 shotgun, and they ain't got the $30 a box ammo, and they ain't got the $100 turkey. I saw a turkey choke the other day. I was looking at my shotgun getting in Wednesday. I was looking, I seen a turkey choke for $100. I thought, $100 turkey choke? I mean, man. I mean, so you get all this money. Kill a bunch of birds with that. Yeah, you get all this money, and you spend all this money and time and invest, and then you go out there and you don't know what you're doing. Because you saw somebody on television going out and killing turkeys. They set a decoy up, setting a blind, here they come. You know, I've had so many testimonials and people that's messaged me, and even on my Facebook, and or before I got the Facebook started, and people would email me and message me and tell me, you've helped me kill my first turkey, or man, I struggle and struggle, but you've helped me have more success, and you've helped me just have success every year because there's so much I was doing wrong, and you've told me what I was doing wrong, and that's what it's about. Yeah. Because I worry that our hunting industry and our hunting tradition is being attacked. Kids are not hunting much anymore. You know, dads ain't taking their kids out, or it's a single mom that don't have a dad in the house or whatever, and so the kids today are being stuck in a room playing Xboxes and PlayStations and killing zombies and chopping heads off and all this stuff. And hey, instead they should be blowing heads off the turkeys and deer, you know, and so, you know, but there's not a lot of young hunters out anymore. To me, there's no higher drug, there's no higher video game that give you any more higher than an old gobbler coming in strutting 15 yards in your face, gobbling in your face, and you sitting 25 years, and I still get, I mean, every time I see that old white head coming up, every time I see a white head, I mean, I can see a hen, it don't bother me a bit, but the moment I see a tail fan, I see a white head coming, I mean, my heart, I don't care if it's 2-year-old, 3-year-old, I don't care if it's a whatever, I just get tore all pieces. That's my problem is, you know, and the best thing I think is you shoot them, and then you get to take them home and eat them. That's right. And that's why I have a hard time laying off them jakes, because I know how good they are. God, they're so good. But you know what? I appreciate you taking the time all 3 or 4 times we've done. I think we got it right this time. I think so. And I'm going to edit this together, but this is, you can go check him out at Mddale31 on YouTube. I'm going to put the link in the video. He's got a Facebook page, Eyes of the Hunter Inc. And like I said, he does once a week he does a story time on there, and it's always a good story. And you get to hear about a wizard, Splinter, and all these turkeys that he's got that hasn't got. Yeah, that's right. And I hope you all just go check it out and give him some support, because I think you're on the right track, and I appreciate this. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out and meeting, and I'm gonna come out, Lord willing, if it works out, come out and get me an Oklahoma turkey, and I want one tied up. I want you to go scout for me and do all this stuff. No, all this stuff you're talking about.